Hey, Reed.
Hey Griffin, how's your day?
How do you know?
You coming for me with the shoe there?
No, I didn't mean to do that.
Okay.
All right. Let's get started.
Just the one
On-
of us?
Shush! April 17, 1865, Mary Stuart was arrested for being a conspirator in Lincoln's assassination. She was the first woman to be executed by the U.S. federal government. Also, 1861, Virginia became the 8th state to secede from the Union. In 1864, U.S. Civil War General Grant banned the trading of prisoners. It's pretty good.
Why did he do that?
Don't ask questions.
Got it.
1810, Lewis M. Norton, isn't that a last name, patented pineapple cheese. In 1492, Christopher Columbus signed a contract with Spain to find a passage to Asia and the Indies. All right. I'm going to talk to you about Harriet Tubman today, and someone else later. We'll get there. Harriet's original name was Arminta Ross, but she typically went by Minty. She was born into slavery in Dorchester, Maryland, around 1820, 1822. They're not too sure, sometime in between that. That's not important for the test. She was, like I said, born into slavery for the popular neck plantation. Her owners were in debt, so they put her up for sale. She was bought by Anthony Thompson, and right before she was sold, she escaped. She escaped on the fall of 1849, but she got married just before that and changed her last name to John Tubman on 1844. Yes?
I found out why. I'll tell you after class. On Grant.
Oh, okay. Should be a Teams message. At the bottom right here, you'll see this is her reward that was put out. $300 for her and her two brothers. Harriet is said to have traveled using the North Star. She was helped by known abolitionists in the area, mostly Quakers. They helped her using the Underground Railroad. It's just a network of safe houses and people to help with transportation for fugitive slaves. Harriet traveled about 90 miles to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. During the 10-year span, Harriet made 19 trips into the South. She personally escorted over 300 slaves to freedom, including her entire family. During the Civil War, Tubman worked for the Union as a nurse, cook, and spy. She's also well known for the Coleman Ferry raid that happened on June 2nd, 1863. She went with Colonel James Montgomery and about 150 black soldiers on gunpoint raid in South Carolina. They rescued 700 slaves. She's the first woman to lead a major military operation. So that's to include my token woman in history. After the war, Harriet Tubman settled in Auburn, New York. She helped raise money for black schools, the indigent, and those in need. She established the Harriet Tubman Elder Home that you can still visit in Auburn, New York today. Really cool place. Just go see it.
Have you ever been?
Nope. As well as the home she lived in, you can also go see. She died on March 10, 1913. Next person we're going to talk about today is William Tecumseh Sherman. Very controversial general. He was born in Lancaster, Ohio on February 8, 1820. Right around when Harriet Tubman was born. He was born to a prominent family. His father was Charles Robert Sherman, a lawyer and an Ohio judge. Sherman's father died when he was just 9 years old, but they had 11 children. His mother and father, not Sherman. He only had 8.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Sherman was the 6th out of 11 children. Talk about a middle child. His mother was left widowed and poor, so she fostered out Sherman and his siblings to wealthy families. Sherman's foster home was in the Ewing family. Thomas Ewing, an Ohio senator and cabinet member, adopted him. And on May 1st, 1850, Sherman did him a favor and married his stepsister, Eleanor Boyle Ewing Sherman. If you know, you know. I guess it's love. Their wedding was attended by a line of prominent political figures. Example, Zachary Taylor. And like I said, they had 8 children.
Do we need to know that for the test, Zachary Zachary Taylor?
No, you don't need to know that for the exam. Sherman attended West Point at 16. He graduated in 1840. He was known for not really following by the strict rules of West Point, but he was still really good in his academics. Sherman was a general for the Union, as we talked about before in class. He spent a lot of time in the South before the Civil War, though. This meant that when it came to the Civil War, he was experienced and knew the way through the terrain. Many said the North didn't know about. Many in the South said that the North didn't know the way of the South. But that's just not the case. He was the first colonel that helped the first Bull Run. Then he was transferred to commander of the Western Theater. It's a lot better than how McDowell ended. Sherman worked well with other officers. He connected with many of them at West Point, and he worked in several campaigns. The Union also did best when Sherman, Grant, and Lincoln were working together. It's a good mix. They were all pretty similar, same culture. They speak the same language. After the war, 1865 and on, William T. Sherman remained in the military. When Grant became president, Sherman was his general-in-chief. Shows how well they worked together. There were actually many opportunities for him to run for political office, but he declined. He even said if he was nominated, he wouldn't run. And if he was elected, he wouldn't serve. In 1883, Sherman went back to his life in New York. He died on February 14, 1891 of pneumonia at Valentine's Day. Yes.
Did he have anything to do with Pea Ridge?
Let's not talk about that now.
Not Pea Ridge?
No.
Aw,
No.
I love
Not the Yellow Creek. Running to freedom, amazing generals, and marrying your family. That's the brush of difference. See everyone Wednesday. Yes.
Is the in-class assignment?
Like I said, we'll get to that Wednesday. I forgot about it today, but we'll get to that today. See you, everybody. Have a good week.
Griffin.